What is going on, guys? It's your boy Cash, and today we are finally here to go over YURI LOWELL. And luckily I did find like one or two videos of what he actually is in his game, so we can see what he is in the game, in his original game, The Tales of Vesperia, and then see what he is in this game, and then furthermore talk about him in this game. I do like this when I do collabs, is to kind of get a glimpse of what the character are. I don't think that's correct English, but what they actually are in their game. Like what do they do in their game, or what do they look like, or something like that. When I first did the collaboration in Knights Chronicles for Ruby, RY, frickin', you know how to spell it. That one was really cool because it really opened me to a brand new world. And then of course Epic 7 had a collaboration with Guilty Gear, and that kind of got me into Guilty Gear and looking at those characters, Biken, Soul, and Dizzy, trying to look at them and see what that was, and I kind of showcased that. So I wanted to kind of keep the same tempo, the same vibe, the same level with this game, to kind of showcase at least where those moves come from. So I actually have not seen any of the moves from any of the Tales characters, either from from their game or from in this game. So I'm gonna try to find the name of the moves in their game and then show it here first, so we can get a good idea of that. So without further ado, Skidamaricky think you do, let's get into it. All right, first and foremost, we have the young man. He looks pretty cool. This is the video I'm referencing, Sir Mecha. So he has a video of all his arts and stuff like that, all his things. He looks pretty cool. This is the game that he's actually from, like, and this is kind of the game. Hold on, I might have to miniaturize myself or whatever. So this is the game he's from. He looks like he's really small. You know, he's got, well, this game is small, he put the thing he can block and all this other nonsense. So that's pretty cool in my opinion. I think this is a really cool thing. I guess he can change weapons. I know nothing of the Tales series, just to let you know. So, and I guess that's how that game is played. It's like I've seen Tales games before, not this one. There was the one that I've actually seen the most of was one where the chick had like a demon arm. I don't know what Tales game that is. I know someone can tell me. The chick had a demon arm, and that's the one I saw, and it's very like combo based, combo heavy kind of game. Still HP and there's magic, but I don't know how the system works at all. So in this game though, he is actually just Schmidt. They have identical stats, and I mean like identical stats. Even if I put Seymour here, you will see that their stats are exactly the same, which is weird because when I go into Flynn does not have, Flynn actually has somewhat unique stats. I could not find a faded hero with his exact stats. There's similar stats, but not exactly. But if I click back and forth here, you'll see that there's literally no difference. Kind of whack. Also interesting that his voice is Japanese, I think, because he, you know, he does have an English voice. So I would have liked if they had a mixture. I think this game has mixed voices, right? Like you can choose whatever voice you want. So I would have thought that that would have been a cool thing, but maybe, you know, limited through the pandemic and stuff like that. Maybe they couldn't get anyone to do all that nonsense, so maybe they were just like, give us what you got. Anyway, so he does have Schmidt stats. That does mean that he has a higher defense than most other assault based units, which actually lends him a good thing, I would say. Has a decently high HP in comparison to like, oh yeah, by the way, I wanted to mention this, I shouldn't mention this in this video, but look at these base stats. Oh yeah, look at that. Look, this character's great when you're in the journal. I don't know why they decided to do this, but actually your unleashed potential stats actually show up in the journal. I don't know why. My dog is actually completely maxed out. This guy is just this is his Fate version. I did hope, and I did say this before, that I hope that he had crazier stats, but it seems that he does not. These are his base stats, and again, if he's identical to Schmidt, and then Schmidt eventually, I think, because we all know in the FC line Black and White, is going to get a fake core. And when you get a fake core, usually the world is your oyster, because then you can mew it up, you could do it up, you can also fusion it up. So there's a lot of ways to benefit this, you know, all the other characters that get a fake core that's not orange. I think an orange one, I don't think you can fusion it. That's why even Dorka, even though she has her cute little festival thing, needs a actual fake core. And I think that it's a weird thing because they already have a system. I don't want to get too in depth with it in this review, but it's a weird thing because they already have black fake cores that do virtually nothing. Why not have done that? I think that it's very also weird. Just briefly speaking on this is that these aren't a FC line. I think that the Tales of Vesperia collab should have been an FC line. And I'm going to go deeper into that in another video. His attack is relatively lower, so he can be, which decent because the position that he's in, you're going to need him to be under everything, but he also is going to be afflicted with everything. Rachel's disheartened, Janai's charm, he's going to be screwed by that, but he's going to be under Dorka, he's going to be under, well, he might have an issue being under Schmid, which kind of sucks. Then again, Schmid's Master's Footwork, which is the only one I think, which I do think that they need to change this, is that his is the only one that if he dies, it doesn't work anymore. So, you know, Charm still works if Janai's dead. Fear the Abyss still works when Frankie's dead. So I don't know why Schmid is the only one that gets dicked about that. And I don't know if Bramble works in the same way. But if you got the boy out, you know, he's going to be doing good. We all know that he's Wasted Red. We'll touch on that a little bit because I do think that there's an important combo that you do have to run with Yuri in order for him to even be remotely good. And I do think that that was intentional for them to make the signature force of Wasted Red even higher. So I do want to bring that into here so we can just briefly talk about that. Besides looking at him, is to talk about the Wasted Red signature force and to also, you know, why he's at the moment super strong, because one, he's gonna have the light attack based on it, and we all know these things, right? That the more Wasted Red heroes, which you're gonna run him and Garf, so you're at least gonna have this, right, on a decent Wasted Red account. So he's gonna have even more attack, even more defense, even more HP, which is nice. These things are not gonna apply to him. This is for Garf, and that's for Rudley. Where else? But then eventually he's gonna get even more free light damage. Fine, fantastic, and then not this one. Where is it? There it is, grants buffs to all the Wasted Red, so even more attack, defense, HP, which is very important, and attack speed, which is nice to get even more than that. I think the most important and crazy thing, which right now Wasted Red has, and which you're gonna see them, I think in my opinion, take more in the meta, is this right here, that decreases elemental damage received from heroes from the Wasted Red by 30%, which is kind of crazy. Again, really important. He might be the only character, in my opinion, Yuri, that could actually be in a position to solo some if we go and look at his skills, I think that that's very important to note, because he's the only character that I think that could be put in a position that can actually do that based on his skills. Also like to mention that you can unleash potential of these characters, which is pretty nice. So he is in the sword base, so they get the resets, which is really important, especially because if you look at here, the Divine Wolf increases on attack by 30% upon defeating the target. And again, this does not have a time limit on it, so if you are looking to snipe out someone, it's very important that you do so, and if you do so with the skill Divine Wolf. You also can see here the special effects is the resets. So if he has less mana, he'll actually do a skill turn reset with this move. Very important. It does cost 2 mana, but it's still very important that you definitely, I think this one is probably the most important to get. Then you can see here, same thing with this one, but it's a burst skill. So do all that damage. You'll get a turn reset, but you won't have any mana because your other move is 2 mana. But the mana cost is significant because the more mana it costs, the more damage it does with signature force, which is important. Then I think you also 100% want to get this. I'd actually say that S1 in your passive is probably the most important thing that you want to get in terms of unleashed potential, because these things, getting free mana every round is going to definitely help you. And we're gonna go over what the moves do in a little bit. But here he is, he's male, he's 21, so he's of age, ladies. Ladies, he's all for you, go get him. And him being dark, I do think is a nice thing. And I find in PvP that some people splash dark because they like, oh, there's no dark characters. And some people splash light because, oh, there's no light characters. So him and Garf alone are gonna cover up those little bases, because a lot of people have red and then they splash it with something else that they hope is not in the team. So here we go. Let's look at the lovely skills. And I do wanna, again, find the skills. Not the basic attack, but let's look at the basic attack. Okay, just a nice little slash. I do like it. 1, 2, flips, catches the sword, and I thought it would make more sense if he flipped and walked back with it, but it is what it is. Next up, we have the passive, which is very important. He has the counter 3, which who cares? I mean, it's a decent thing, especially if you look at what the loner does, which we'll get to in a second. Then yes, it's nice that he's countering because he's just dealing damage whenever he's getting hit. then he will fire. Well, not actually when he gets hit, but when they try to hit him. If it's successful or not is irrelevant. Resurrect. If under the effective command, which is with Garth, he revives with 50% HP upon own death 2 times per battle. The reason why this is so important, and I think that really brings him up, is because of the loner passive. If there are no living allies other than self, increases own attack, defense, and health by 50%. Cannot activate when there are no allies in the team. Now, they just put that so you just can't like put him one off by himself, which I actually think would have been a cool thing. And if they would have increased him by more than 50%, if you tried to do that, it would have been interesting to see if people were to at least in tag possibly to have him solo encounter. It also would have been good if they didn't screw up the awakened gear system where healing was still a thing. So possibly he could have sat there in a 1v5 scenario situation and actually soloed the enemy team by just healing back all the damage. But we all know that he definitely needs to be awakened. You cannot sit there and not having awakened those stats. He needs them to survive. But what's really cool is that since the resurrect thing, I'm probably gonna go fight a PvE scenario because I'm gonna leave him at level 1. I think it's a little bit easier. But the fact that he, you know, everyone would quote unquote die, right? And then he would stay alive. It's very easy to get the loner passive off. The fact that it's a mark does kind of suck because then, you know, in PvE scenarios where they disable the mark on the on your allies, it's not going to be as useful. But it's, you know, anything where you can actually have self marks, which are really, really good, then he'll be fine for the loner mark. But as you can see, the revive mechanic is irrespective of anything unless they, I guess, remove the mark of command. Which is like, you know, when they remove Bathory's mark of tranquil, and then it's like, well, I'm not tranquil right now, and kind of sucks. But I do like that. It's really cool. It's unique, and it's something that we don't have in the game. There's no self-reviving unit. Rara was the closest thing that we have, and she prevents her death and then heals, which is a little bit different when reviving and getting 50% of your HP back. So there's a lot of cool team comp stuff that I think that we should go over a little bit later, which we can try our best to make this guy the most annoying piece of shit in PvP that you could possibly put out, even though he doesn't have a fake core. The next up is going to be the Divine Wolf. Divine Wolf is going to deal some damage. It's only costs 2 mana, and if he gets a kill with it, then he's going to get even more attack. What's important about his attack that he gets here is the fact that it doesn't have a turn. It's a permanent buff. And I'm going to splash this in there because of FC Rudley, because FC Rudley gives a permanent buff to a character. Now, the only thing that I need to see is this permanent buff. Does he still get those stats when he dies and comes back? Now, that's going to be really important because if he does, then he's a very strong character. It's going to take me a little bit to manipulate a scenario for that to happen, but that's when it would be the absolute best if that was to be the case. So what I want to do is I want to find Divine Wolf in that video, and then we're going to see how it is in this game. So give me a little bit to find it, to see what it actually should over limit. Okay. Oh, you have to do a move first. Oh, okay, so it's literally just a bunch of slashes. You're dead. Okay, and he slashes through. Crushing Eagle. I'll blow you away. I think I would like to have this voice. Would you have not liked to have this voice? Okay, so it keeps upgrading. The combo keeps getting longer and longer. So what part of it do we get? So let's see at the Divine Wolf that we get in this game. I'll blow you. I want a Crushing Eagle in this. I'm now tainted by Crushing Eagle. Okay. Oh, he does do it. Oh, and the pose. Okay. It's funny because, and that's why I like to show everything, right? That's actually cool because in the game, that's just a combo starter. If you guys, especially if you're familiar with fighting, that's just a combo starter. He does over limit, Crushing Eagle into that. It cancels into the Divine Wolf, but they still kept the animation in this game, and that's actually pretty tight. I actually really appreciate that. That's so dope. And then boom. So he does the basic one as we've seen. So next up is going to be the Savage Wolf's Fury, which is a 5-mana burst, which if he's been killing people with the Divine Wolf, if he's lone, and if he has any other random buffs, he's gonna be pretty strong, and this should do a heck of a ton of damage, which is a crazy combo of words I never thought I'd say. Savage Wolf Fury is here, and okay, of course, you guys know I'm gonna go look for it in the video and see what it looks like there, and then see how they translate it into this game. All right, I found it. So it's right here. Savage Wolf Fury, normal hit plus final boss extension. So this is the best Savage Wolf Fury that we can get. So let's look at it in game. Blow you away. Okay. Okay. Okay, switching elements. So it looked like he switched elements there. Oh, hit plus. So this is the hit plus. Okay. Okay, that's a lot of hits. That's a lot of hits. And then where's the final boss encounter? Oh, I guess this is like spoiler. Special extension. Oh, look at the damage. I like it. And then he actually jumps up and like does a slash afterwards. Whoa, they also have combo attacks in this game? Oh, wow. Okay, I'm looking at too much stuff. So pretty much it's a bunch of slashes and there should be some elements in there a little bit. So let's see what it looks like. There it is. I love that they actually do the startups too. Okay. Now, as far as it looks underwhelming in the game because of the better animations of stuff that we've seen, but it's true to exactly what it is in the game. Like, it's a bunch of slashes, him just kind of teleporting, slashing you and everything like that. And okay, I think that there was that one that we saw that he actually jumps up and shoots. That would have been nice because it's like similar to like FCG, and there's a bunch of stuff going on, and then it just has a really big finish. But remember also is that this is just like when he was fighting those bees, is that it's hitting everyone. So I think this would look way better if we were to do it on a group of enemies instead of it just being one. I think AoE skills always look better when you're hitting a bunch of people instead of just one. But I think that still looks pretty clean. Let me know what you guys think. YFOs in the comment section below. Now, you guys are probably thinking, what about the gear set? At least at the minimum on your first set, like when you awaken them, to get the first red, you just kind of have to do it just because he's going to be at a disadvantage HP wise, and all the other stuff wise. He's going to be at a disadvantage. Now, if you want what you want to put on after that, I guess you have some flexibility. A lot of people, I think, going red, maybe 2 sets and then 1 set of machine. That's an option for a little bit of hit, which I still think is kind of irrelevant. It's kind of hard because I do feel like they need to rework these 3-6 sets. I think that everything should be 2-4-6. So you can really mix up what you want and still get a benefit, because the 3 6s was 1, 2, 3, and then this darkness one, which is completely dude. Yeah, I did. But so pretty much I say 4 red, 6 red on your first, and then like 4, probably 2, maybe machine, just to have the extra hit. I think that that's the only thing that logically makes sense. This is what I wanted to do. I'm gonna bring it into the fight with the abomination monster. I think it's probably the best way to showcase what I want to showcase. Just to do some testing. I think it's the best way to showcase it without like trying to raise him up to go into PvP and hope that he doesn't get killed and stuff. Now, what I'm hoping to happen is that the guy does the AoE, my units die, and then after that, Yuri should be the only one alive, and we could see if he kept all the buffs that I'm about to give him. So that's what we're looking to do here. So first, we can look at his stats. He's not, you know, he ain't got much going on. So, you know, 374, 276 plus 55, a little bit of HP bonus. We're gonna sit here and do this move right here. Boom, Merry Christmas. Now he has a little bit of extra stats. So now keep these stats in mind, the 1658 and the 10,022, because my man is going to die. Definitely 100% going to die. And when he does die, we want to see if those things linger as much. So I don't actually have signature force enabled for this one. So as far as PvP comps, I'm definitely going to just have to suggest that you go over to the boy Dreadnought, and he'll be able to show you guys all that cool stuff. Now, no one, you know what? They did nerf the encounter, right? All right, stats still there. I don't think these stack. I remember I was watching Dreadnought's video, one of his PvP videos, and I don't remember if these actually stack or not. No, they don't. Okay. That's kind of dickish. He reduced my max HP, which is fine. You can still keep track of it. 9965. All right, here we go. So this should actually do it. He should finally kill me. They nerfed this so bad. Some of you guys are like, wait, how is he surviving so many attacks? Yes, they nerfed the hell out of this encounter. Holy God. So boom, there goes a revive. Now, yes, he gets a boost of things, but this is what I want to see. So he does not keep the buffs that he had previously. So that actually makes him even worse than I thought. But you also can see now I have the loner passive, so I don't have the boost up from FC Rudley. So that definitely puts a hamper on a little bit of my strategies, because I was assuming that you could put a bunch of buffs on him, he will revive and still keep some of those buffs, but he does actually die. So it's unlike FC Rera, which is a little bit better. So just keeping that in mind. So unless you have really good stats that this 50% increase is going to give you a lot, then yeah, he's also still under command even when he does come back, which is also good. So now we can give you the get it. Decrease my max HP. Get it. Ow. Who do you think I am? And he just keeps coming back. That's pretty cool. It's a really cool mechanic, but again, you have to have this guy on balls. So that what sucks about that also is that his Divine Wolf won't, give him that. I think that they should have found a way to instead give him stacks, and then upon reviving, at least with his Divine Wolf here, that maybe he keeps those stacks so his attack is actually increased. There's a lot of ways that they could have done that a lot better. Now, with all that being said, now that we kind of see how the character works, what team comp do we go? I still think the thing is that you still kind of want to go with this type of shell. You don't necessarily need Annie. I only brought Annie to make sure I can get this his thing off, because I didn't know how weak the encounter would be. You still want to go with this shell. The reason why is because you pretty much want to stall. I do think that adding in Dorka into this comp would also make sense, because then he gets a free healing mechanic that he does not have access to. I think that you want to bring this comp, and then one other annoying thing that you think is going to make it even more annoying for your opponent to kill you. Since you are running Garf, you do have the option of Valar, FC Valar, which is crazy to reduce the attack of the enemy team. You can run some Charm to lower the attack speed, so possibly he can get more attacks off. What other options do you have? Rachel to make them disheartened, so they are a little bit easier to kill, because the whole way that the Chidori works, or sorry, Karin, in the PvP, is that there is a chance that if you keep surviving and keep healing and keep surviving, what's gonna happen is that everyone's gonna get electric shock. Everyone dies, but he should technically come back with his revive. And I think that that's super annoying. And if it doesn't work like that, someone should please let me know. What's super crazy about that you would automatically win the fight in that scenario. So keeping him alive and making sure he doesn't die at all should be, in my opinion, your highest priority. I think even bringing in someone like Tantalo or even Luke in this last spot would be really beneficial to you. Even Naomi, which I've been using the power of Brune, I could tell you that Naomi will tank for a long time because she's reducing pretty much 30% damage from all your units when she has shared health on them, and that's a decent amount of damage to protect your units from. And even or Mahar, whatever you want. I do think that you do want Dorka though. You do want passive healing when he is there by himself. And if you don't want that, then yes, you can open it up. You can run another core set, like like I said, like a Rachel April, if you want to run that, so he gets attack speed in the back, which he's going to lose unfortunately when he does die. So I think that might not be the best case scenario, but I do like the options of like a Rachel. I think Rachel April might be a little bit better, because you just like to dishearten the enemy, to make them a little bit weaker to you, while he is technically stronger, and then could possibly cleave them all out at the same time. I would also preserve his mana, so that when he does revive and when everyone else is dead, you have a Savage Wolf Fury to pretty much let off when your attack is pretty high and all that good stuff. I think that's the best time to use it if you're not going to get an AoE kill or anything like that. Also, it is nice, since he does revive twice, that you could use him to go trigger off some deadly wrath counters from the first Guardians. You can do that as well. You know, just throw them out there. But anywho, YFOs in the comment section below, what do you guys think about Yuri? I do think he's a decent character. I do think in PvP he has advantages from having a revive mechanic that other characters simply do not have. I do think that that will enable him to be a pretty strong, reliable PvP unit in the Wasted Red. You pretty much have to run him in Wasted Red. You have to, you have to run this core right here, just because of, like I said, the survivability aspect of it. And if you don't want to run on Dorka, then you need to run something that's just going to keep them healed and constantly getting HP, or give him something that's going to constantly give them shields, something to make it annoying as possible. I would even think like something like this, like just the damage immunities plus the Dorka healing you over time. Like this seems like a pretty good comp in my opinion. You got 2 in the front, 3 in the back, and it'd be really hard to break and kill this just with FC Garv. Well, yes, if you have it. FC Rudley, Garv, and the healing from Dorka, and the damage immunity procs from FC Tantalo to kind of keep you home base. That would be my best optimal team comp. So let me know in the comment section below what you think. And yes, Flynn is next. We're gonna deep dive into him. Hopefully you guys are ready for that. Sorry for the long video, but like I said, I like to go in depth for collab units. Like, comment, subscribe, and just remember that every day at the Kashino is your lucky day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.